Hi guys, I'm James at Bespoke Airsoft. Welcome to another episode, and in this episode we're taking a look at the KAIJU 47. So like an idiot, I just pretty much recorded the whole episode and realised I hadn't pressed record, so I've just been talking to myself, which ain't great. But the KAIJU 47, let's go through some quick features just for those that you don't know. This is based on the Ronin 47 series, but this is the special edition. So a lot of cool features here. The external dimensions are going to be the same as the Ronin 47, but you've got this lovely limited edition flare on it, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. And a few features. It's full metal construction apart from the parts of the stock, the pistol grip and the iron sights and the magazine. The body and everything else is full metal, of course, from KWA. This lovely 8-inch M-LOK style handguard. Some lovely trademarks there, which I'm going to get a close up for you in a moment. PTS iron sights, PTS grip, T6 style stock. Has the 2.5 style gearbox, so it's got the adjustable spring guide, which you can tune the FPS up and down. It's also a quick change spring guide. So it doesn't have the recoil, but in my opinion, this model is a lot more usable than the recoil series. Just depends if you want that recoil feature on there. If you do, there's other special editions that you can choose from. So with the KAIJU 47, you're getting a sort of a bronzy goldish coloured style mag of the Ronin 47 magazine. They're the same. This one that comes with it is just a different colour. They're a 120 round mid-cap magazine with the extended follower, so it'll feed every round in the magazine. Just make sure that when you put it back in the gun, that you push the follower back down if it's an empty magazine, before you put it in to save damaging it. Internally, this thing has been upgraded from factory. They've put a gate tighten MOSFET in there. As you'll see from the shooting demonstration a little bit later on, this one from the factory was set to burst, which isn't a problem. You can change it really quick. You also get a speed style trigger here as well. And there's a few other accessories in the box with the tool and a few M-LOK rail sections and bits and pieces like that. You also get the cable to attach the MOSFET to a computer and the little data chip that comes with the Dean's connector on to do that conversion. That comes on the gun from the factory. So what you'll see is as you open the battery compartment, you take it out here and you'll see on the Dean's connector, you've got the little gizmo on the end there. Loads of battery space available in this stock. You can also get the extension piece, which extends it out to about here. If you do want to run a slightly bigger battery, 7.4s, 11.1, this thing will take it. I've been running KWA models, the QRF, TK45s, with gate tightens in, with 11.1s in for a while now, and I've absolutely had no issues whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch the camera around so you can see a little bit in more detail of the features and the little markings on this gun. And then straight after that, we're going to dip into the chrono and accuracy test. Chrono, pretty straightforward, using a different chrono, but the results will speak for themselves. And then we'll do a different range test. Now in the range test, a little bit different here, we've got a bit more space down the side of the building. So what we're actually doing, I'm only using a basic target, which is a cardboard cutout, which is, you know, roughly about this tall, but it's torso width. So it should give you a good indication of shooting at a man-sized target. But the difference is we can shoot this target at 15, well, anywhere up to 40 metres, but I've decided to do 15 metres, 30 metres, and then 40 metres, which is the max range that we have. So one thing that does for you guys, because I know you've been asking for a longer range test, so you can see the rounds and see how the accuracy is. It's going to be a bit more difficult because the lighting isn't great, but 15 metres, 30 metres, 40 metres, I'll try and get the barrel as in line with the lens on the camera as possible, and you might be able to see the trajectory, but you'll see again on the flip side how easy it is to hit target at 40 metres, especially a man-sized target at 40 metres with this thing. I'm using heavy BBs in the accuracy test, 0.2 gram BBs to chrono, and then 0.3 gram BBs in the accuracy test, which the KWAs do struggle a little bit with on the standard hot rubbers, but we'll have a close look, we'll get straight into that, and I'll be back on camera to tell you my thoughts. So this should be a little bit easier. So you've got KWA TML 8 on the M-LOK handguard there. Manufactured in Taiwan, with a lovely speed trigger. And then we've got like a danger marking, we've got KAIJU 17, KAIJU TML8 M-lock marking. We've got the KAIJU 47 logo there. We've got Special Development Group 2020 designed by KAIJU 17, Underground Creative Studios. Got some Japanese markings up there. Deep in the shadows exists a KAIJU, a monster of unspeakable strength, a strange beast with special powers. The legend begins. We've got a VPS there, which I presume is to do with their velocity adjustment thing. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that one. Got the serial number, Ronin 47, Cal 6mm, and then we've got the markings there, which you'll see. Single shot is end times, and then full auto / burst is doomsday. You see the colours there. Very unique looking rifle. Let's get into the chroning action test and see how we get on. So, KWA KAIJU, we've got 0.3 gram BBs loaded. We're at 15 metres. If there's a bit of ambient noise, I do apologise for that. This is a business at the end of the day, the guys need to work, so I'll try and work around it. This is 15 metres, same size target as before, semi-auto. Let's see what we can do. And I think you guys know this is going to be really easy. Easy peasy, let's move back. Right, we are 30 metres away. Same gun. We're going to struggle here because we're going to go to 0.3s. And from looking at the trajectory of the 15 metre test, I know there's absolutely no hop on here. Because this gun is quite expensive, I think we need to adjust hop as much as we can. As you guys know, if you followed my KAIJU reviews before, you know that KAIJU don't fit the greatest hop rubbers out of the box. And this is probably going to be a perfect test, so I'm going to fire a few shots first. And then I'm going to try and adjust the hop just to see if we can get a positive result. If not, we know, same old KAIJU hop rubber, we need to swap it out. So let's see, it's 30 metres. So I'm not missing. Let's try and add some hop. The hop rubber might struggle with 0.3s. More. Yeah, the standard hop rubber is pretty much at capacity. I think if we'd have gone to a 2.5 it'd have been fine. But the 0.3. Oh no, we livened up a bit there. So this is what I mean by the KAIJU hop rubbers. They'll be yes and no, so you'll get a good result and then they'll get a bad result like if you leave it loaded and you haven't shot for a while. So now we've got it warmed up. I ain't missing that target. Let's go back. We are now, apologies if there's a plane flying over, we are quite close to Heathrow, so we are 40 metres back, just to prove it to you. 40 metres away. I'm hoping the lighting catches up the BB flight path good enough. I'm going to be aiming centre mass. Might go for a few headshots if I can, and then we'll do a bit of a rip on full if we've got some BBs left. But the hop is exactly where it was before. Let's see if it still works. They're a bit low. We are out. So let me put some more BBs in this thing and we'll carry on. Same KWA hot rubber behaviour where, like, I left the gun, went and filled the mag up with some BBs, come back and then it's dropping again and then it does equal out. So I'm guessing it's probably the same hot rubber that they usually fit, but it's hopping a 0.3 to 40 metres ish. See if we can add a tiny bit more. Let's go full auto. if you noticed, but this MOSFET from the factory is set to burst. I ain't missing, really. Hope you guys can see the trajectory. But yeah, 40 metres, easy peasy with the KAIJU. The results will only get better when you put a nice hot rubber in there. It's just a KWA trait, unfortunately. Highly recommend a Prometheus purple hot rubber. Put that in there and I think you'd be right on the money. And if you wanted to, put like a Prometheus barrel in to match, and you'd be good to go, I think. So yeah, very good results. Let's get back in the showroom. You see there, chrono test. It was a little bit high to start off with. This is usual from these guns, and then it did settle down to around the 350 mark. I haven't touched the spring guide, so it could be set inwards. It could be set outwards. Usually, you know, these guns with the variable 2.5 gearbox and full loosen of the spring guide, if that's what you want to call it. So the rearward position, they're usually about 350. When you're upgrading these guns, and you'll have known this from my own guns that I've had, you do get a little bit more reliable FPS readouts. I mean, this one wasn't bad at all. They usually come with an unported piston head, so I always recommend going to a ported style piston head for a little bit more reliable FPS and consistency. This one wasn't bad out of the box. Some of them that I've done previously have been a little bit up and down. The max model piston head is the one that I like to use in my personal guns. But about 350, so bang on. With .2s, I went straight to .3s with the 120 round magazine. 15 metres, 30 metres, 40 metres. I wasn't missing, let's face it. Could I get better results? Yes. I'm not a fan, and I say this in every video, and I still get people who go, how could you don't say bad things about KWA? I'm not saying bad things about KWA. I love their guns. To be honest, it's one of my most favoured brands at the moment. I love what they do. This thing is just solid, and you don't get that with a lot of manufacturers. This gun would be pure perfection. You know, with a few little parts that I would switch out. I would, of course, put a Prometheus purple hot rubber in there to start with, and I'd like to put a stainless steel barrel in there. Of course, it's not needed. Hot rubber, I think, for the little that they cost, like £10-15, I think just do that straight away. Even if you go for like a cheap one, like the Garda Clear ones are quite good. Just the ones that are in there from the factory, I'm not 100%, I don't really quite like them. With the other models, you know, my own models, I've fitted like ported piston heads. It wasn't really needed in this one, you know. It's the consistency was all right after it settled, but that could change in, you know, warmer and colder climates, summer, winter. You know, O-rings expand and contract, and you might get a bit of air loss there. But in terms of trigger response with the Titan and the speed trigger, it's absolutely perfect. I would probably just put the programming card on and just adjust the sensitivity a little bit more. So I'm literally tapping it rather than doing a longer pull. You have the full adjustability there with the gate Titan, so you know, the World Your Oyster. It was set to burst. To be honest, no ifs or buts there. It doesn't really matter because you can put the little programming lead on to your laptop or your PC or your Mac, and you can program it to whatever which way you want. 3-round burst, 5-round burst, full auto, single shot only, whatever you want to do. Binary triggers, I'm not sure if they do that yet. They might not. But you know, trigger options and such like that. And at 40 metres, I wasn't missing, was I? I wasn't missing. What I will say, you know, when I'm firing it in this demonstration is that I'm trying to focus on two things at once. So I'm not only I'm trying to point the gun, but I'm also trying to keep the camera stable and on track, and I'm trying to make sure that the trajectory of the BBs is going in the flight path of the lens of the camera. So if it was just myself, no camera, and I dialed this thing in, I have no doubt that I would do a lot better. But you know, I'm going down the rabbit hole here, so I'll try and keep it to a short video for you guys. KAIJU 47, it is expensive, $675. You know, an extra £75 on top of the normal special edition price. Is it worth it for the uniqueness of it? Yes. In short, it is. You're getting gate Titan. You haven't got to buy that. Got a nice trigger. You haven't got to buy that separately. It's all fitted, so it's ready to go out the box as a ready to run package. I do moan about the hot rubbers. Now, if you went down to a .25, it would do a lot better. Take that from me, I've ran multiples of these KAIJU rifles, and I've ran them on the standard hot rubbers, and I've ran them on new hot rubbers. .25 is about your limit on the standard hot rubber, but if you do want to run .3s, and I've even ran .4s in my QRF because it's just so precise with that new hop setup that I've got in there, then you can do. So this has been the KAIJU 47. At the moment of filming this review, we do have like 2 or 3 left in stock. So if you are wanting to get one and you've got that kind of cash, and you want something that KAIJU aren't going to reproduce again, because I know for a fact as soon as these go out of stock, we're going to have people moaning, when are you having them back in stock again? And it's never. This is a limited edition run. They're only doing it once as far as we're aware. So once they go, they go. But you'll still be able to get the running 47s. And a little birdie tells me that we'll be working on some bespoke custom versions that we'll be doing. So, keep an eye out for that. But thanks for tuning into this review. Hope you like the new setup. Hope you like the new firing demonstration. New backdrop, more guns for you to lose focus on and look at them instead. I appreciate you sticking with me this long. Hope you've enjoyed this gun. It's a very nice piece. It is expensive, but you can find it on the website. I'll put the link down below. If it is out of stock, unfortunately, they've beat you to the punch, but we do have a few left in stock at the moment. We're calling this a review. I'm James at Bespoke, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.
I'm on my way up, going up now, and I ain't never gonna touch down, yeah.